What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Back again here with another YouTube video, another NFL video. So obviously NFL season is currently underway, and in this video I thought I would talk to you people about how the San Francisco 49ers blew their opportunity at becoming the next NFL dynasty in the 21st century. Now obviously San Francisco, they are a dynasty because of all the success they had in the 1980s, and when it comes to NFL dynasties, there really is nothing more fascinating than reading about NFL dynasties because, for example, me being a Patriots fan, I was there to witness the Patriots dynasty, Patriots winning all 6 Super Bowls. That was really fun to witness. And, as soon as and by the way, I'm still a Patriots fan at the end of the day. When the Patriots dynasty, came to an end, I thought San Francisco was going to be the next team because I thought of all the potential they had and so much talent on both sides of the ball. However, that really isn't the case because obviously we currently have the Kansas City Chiefs becoming the latest NFL dynasty. They have overtaken the Patriots as the next NFL dynasty. However, I felt like that could have easily been the San Francisco 49ers because from 2012 all the way up until now, 2024, San Francisco appeared in 3 Super Bowls in which they lost all 3 Super Bowls, both also to the Chiefs. But, all the Super Bowls they lost, I feel like they were 100% winnable, but the reason why San Francisco didn't win those 3 Super Bowls because of just really bad play calling towards the end when it came to actually scoring and showing up in the clutch time, and that's what I want to talk to you about. So, first Super Bowl that San Francisco lost, to Baltimore from 12 years ago, I believe. Yeah, well, it was more so 11 years ago because it happened. It was like back in the 2012 NFL season, and it was that season where Colin Kaepernick made his debut for San Francisco, against the Chicago Bears, and I still remember that game very well. Colin Kaepernick having that great performance against Chicago, and then that performance against the Packers in the playoffs where he broke Michael Vick's, I believe, Michael Vick's rushing record in a playoff game, something like that. So Colin Kaepernick, he was doing his thing, and there actually came a time where I thought Colin Kaepernick was going to become the next version of Joe Montana and Steve Young just because of the way how he was able just to throw the ball and use his legs. That's really what I like about NFL quarterbacks is ones that can, just be very mobile. Whenever the pocket collapses, they just don't take a sack. Instead, they just use their legs. And that's really what was fun about watching Colin Kaepernick was him being able to use his legs to escape the pocket. And then the read option as well. You can't forget about the read option as well. And, when San Francisco made it to the Super Bowl, they obviously defensively, San Francisco didn't have the best defensive performance because, I'm talking about the Super Bowl where the lights went out at halftime. And then after that, San Francisco just looked like their old selves again in making a comeback. And they actually could have made the greatest comeback ever in Super Bowl history because, everybody wants to talk about 28-3 when the Patriots made that comeback against Atlanta. However, San Francisco, was the first team to actually almost pull off a comeback in the Super Bowl that they lost to Baltimore 34-31, where they lost to Joe Flacco. And by the way, the San Francisco 49ers pass rush in the first half was horrendous. I mean, if I still remember, defense couldn't really get anything going against the Ravens. Just defense was playing absolutely terrible. The defense that was dominant all season long just absolutely disappeared against Baltimore in the Super Bowl. And then, there was a time where San Francisco could have actually almost scored I feel like the potential game-winning touchdown because, obviously San Francisco, they were in the end zone against the Ravens where they actually had a chance to finally get a lead against the Baltimore Ravens for once. And basically, all they really had to do was just run the ball because if I remember correctly, when they were in the end zone, Colin Kaepernick, almost scored a touchdown off of the read option. And the biggest question I have about that is why did San Francisco pass the ball 4 straight times in the end zone? Because, it doesn't make sense why San Francisco would do that, knowing that the Super Bowl is on the line, meaning that, they have a chance to win the Super Bowl. One thing I'm trying to figure out is how come they didn't run the ball against Baltimore in that Super Bowl in the end zone, when they had Frank Gore, LaMichael James, and, Colin Kaepernick, 3 options to choose from running the ball. What I would have done in that moment, if I was the one that was calling the plays given from my years of playing Madden, what I would have done is just do a read option and have them, run the ball into the end zone with Colin Kaepernick, or maybe like do a Wildcats play or something like that. That's what San Francisco should have done instead. I seriously don't understand why they would pass the ball 4 straight times in the end zone without even running the ball a single freaking time. It just didn't make sense. And then after that, they had another opportunity at, trying to pull off a kickoff return for a touchdown. However, that failed because time expired, and that's how they lost that first Super Bowl against Baltimore. And then the second Super Bowl, they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs, when Jimmy G was the quarterback. I'm talking about the Super Bowl from 4 years ago when San Francisco had a 20-10 lead against the Chiefs and Mahomes in the Super Bowl. San Francisco, they were doing really well. They played really good defense for the first 3 quarters of the Super Bowl. Yeah, for most of the game, they were doing really well against the Chiefs offense, against an Andy Reid-led offense. They were getting it done, and, they were up 20-10 against the Chiefs in the fourth quarter, I believe. Yeah, in the second half, up 20-10. And if I remember correctly, San Francisco decided to celebrate early when the game wasn't even over. Like, I don't know why they would celebrate when the clock is not at 0 yet, because in that Super Bowl, San Francisco, they stormed the end zone. And that was a mistake that they made because, it's like the game wasn't even over yet. There was still plenty of time. And instead of doing that, San Francisco decided, I feel like they got way too comfortable, and then Kansas City just let off. Especially when Mahomes, made that long pass to Tyreek Hill in that Super Bowl that completely changed the momentum of the game. And then, Kansas City outscored San Francisco 21-0, and then San Francisco lost the game. And, if I remember in that Super Bowl, one thing I'm trying to figure out is when they were up 20-10, how come they just didn't run the ball? Because if you think about it, if San Francisco would have just ran the ball, because say that I'm the 49ers head coach, or if I'm the one that's calling the plays, and for my years of playing Madden, what I would have done in that moment if my team is up 20-10 against the Chiefs in the fourth quarter, in the second half, what I would have done is just do a combination of running the ball, and if that doesn't work, I would have just done a quick dump off to my running back or do like a quick screen pass. That's really what San Francisco should have done in that moment right there, is just do a quick screen pass so that the drive doesn't stall. But that's not what happened, because, the drive completely stalled, and San Francisco just, absolutely, completely gave away that Super Bowl because, they tried passing the ball deep when they didn't need to do that. And instead of them just, like I said, keeping the drive alive by just doing these short dump off passes, just doing like these quick passes just to throw off the Chiefs defense, that's really what they could have done. Instead, they decided to go deep when they didn't need to do that. So that was just bad play calling right there by San Francisco in that Super Bowl, just not doing the screen passes, or just doing a combination of screen passes and running the ball. And then, of course, Jimmy G overthrew Emmanuel Sanders. I believe it was a third play or a fourth down. I can't exactly remember. But, San Francisco, that Super Bowl, they should have won that Super Bowl. And the second Super Bowl that San Francisco lost, once again, it was absolutely a winnable game. However, once again, it came down to really bad play calling, because for most of the Super Bowl, San Francisco played really well against the top-ranked Kansas City Chiefs offense, and San Francisco was getting the job done. The defense was actually doing its job, but then in the fourth quarter, because let's be honest, that should have been Purdy's moment right there. And once again, San Francisco against Kansas City made the same mistake that they made in the Super Bowl 4 years prior by not running the ball, doing a combination of running the ball and doing screen passes, because that's really how you put away the game. It's like San Francisco, I don't know why they would feel the need to, try to throw the ball deep when they didn't need to do that, because like I said, all they had to do was just do like some dump offs, just do some short screen passes to throw off the Kansas City Chiefs defense and go into no huddle, because that's really what Kansas City did. They went to no huddle as soon as they caught San Francisco's defense sleeping. And instead of San Francisco doing that, they decided to, they decided to try and go deep when they didn't need to do that. And that's really how San Francisco lost I feel like both Super Bowls to the Kansas City Chiefs was just because of just them not taking advantage of the screen passes and the running game. Same in the Super Bowl 4 years later that they lost this year was when they were in Chiefs territory with Brock Purdy. They could have just ran the ball with Christian McCaffrey, and if that wasn't going to work, then just do the same thing and just do like a quick dump off or screen pass to your running back, to put away the game. After that, obviously, San Francisco kicked the field goal, and then they gave the ball back to the Chiefs, and then the Chiefs scored the go-ahead touchdown. And, when it comes to OT, the way how it should be is safety, field goal, or touchdown wins the game. game. You know, that's the way how OT rules should be designed, because NFL OT rules really make no sense to me at all. I always believe it should be field goal, touchdown, or safety. The team that puts up points first on the board in OT automatically wins the game. That's really the way how NFL OT rules should be, because I feel like this past year, Brock Purdy clearly got robbed of being able to win a Super Bowl, because that Super Bowl, let's be honest, that was Brock Purdy's moment, but it's just a stupid OT rules prevented all that from happening and us witnessing Brock Purdy's moment, because obviously Purdy, I think he's the future quarterback for San Francisco. He's a hell of a QB, but it's just, I feel like OT rules and a bad play calling robbed Brock Purdy of his Super Bowl ring, because Brock Purdy clearly earned that. He played incredibly well, especially for a seventh round pick. Like, he absolutely balled out, and for him not to get his moments was I felt like was mainly because of just San Francisco not making the correct plays.